Today we're gonna react to proof God's existence using 3 sample arguments. I do have an argument for you guys, which is how do women create a brain, bones, blood system, nervous system, a working heart, 2 nose holes, 2 eye holes, 2 eyeballs, a mouth, a vocal cord, and eardrum. And yeah, how can a woman create all that without a higher power? But let's see.
The question of whether or not God exists is a common question that many
Let's see
people
if I
ask.
can help him out.
And the existence of God is one that is heavily debated between believers in a higher power and skeptics and atheists. And many times people who don't believe in God will ask for hard evidence for his existence. And they'll challenge Christians and tell them, show me proof and I'll believe. And to be honest, Christians can't give hard evidence that God does exist. However, just because believers can't show God physically, it doesn't mean there aren't any good reasons to believe in God. So in this video, I want to cover 3 reasons why people can believe in God. However, I should mention that these arguments should not be abused. For example, many people can enter into a debate of sorts and have the mentality to win and will refuse to listen to the other person and will only look for moments to make the other person look stupid for their lack of knowledge. Even now as I write, I know many people will watch this video with the mentality to prove all these reasons for God's existence wrong. And they'll show it in the comments. And that's honestly fine.
I could help.
Know that if you're a Christian, know that these 3 arguments that I'm about to cover are meant to promote discussion and to get people to consider that God may actually
I could help.
So should you use them, be humble about it.
Let's see.
Why waste another
My argument, I got 3 babies who planted the first tree, and the bad in the world has to have an equal reaction, which is good. That's my why I believe.
With base 44, we turn that question.
I can help this guy. Let's see.
Argument number 1, the creation argument. This argument is also known as the cosmological argument. And while I could go through the argument in detail, where I go through each premise, I think it's better to explain it in a way that you can use it in a conversation. And if that doesn't make any sense to you, that's fine. All you need to know is that I'm going to break down this argument simply because you don't really need to know the premises unless you're in an actual debate. So the creation argument essentially states that everything that begins to exist must have a reason for its existence.
Yeah.
So since that's the case, we as people,
I feel like this is overplayed too much. My baby argument is like a deeper. I feel like I hear myself. Like quieter. I like to. That's besides the point. My baby argument is deeper of this. Like it's more deeper than this.
Have a reason for our existence. So this is the way it works.
It's the deeper version of this.
Has a cause for its existence. For example, we can look at a building and we can safely assume that there were architects and construction workers that were responsible for making it. On top of that, paintings come from artists, dishes come from chefs, and forests come from seeds, and mountains come from the Earth's tectonic plates moving.
Who makes those tectonic plates move? Us? We have so much power that we just build mountains. Oh, well, they're probably gonna say energy, which could be true. Not debating the energy part, but I don't think we have that much energy. We're too minor. We're like a pebble in this magical world, bro. And then the seed one, who planted the first tree?
So the idea is that all that we see needed to have some kind of cause.
And then the clouds too, and then
different. According to science, our universe is expanding.
It's just overplayed. That's why I was like, I don't like this one, because it's just overplayed. People that would be like, okay, if like they just end up, they literally like everybody that uses this as the first argument always end up in the blank, because they be like, oh, who created it? Then who created the evil stuff? So
It's continuously expanding.
that's why I think my three reasons are. I don't think that we could end up to the evil part. Maybe if like they say, oh, why do God like give people an extra arm or like no arm, which they could use, but then I'll just rebuttal with they're alive in it. And then they'll be like, okay, what about the babies that don't make it? It wasn't their time, I guess. Yeah, they'll probably say that against it. What if the baby? Yeah, I gotta study on that then. Gotta study on that one. And then the first, who planted the first tree? They'll be. I don't think they could. What could they say? They say, oh, it was just there. So every tree that you see was just magically there. And then they'd be like, no, 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 no. What could they say about the tree argument? I don't know. And then the evil equals good, or yeah, the evil equals good argument is a good one, because we could get into real trouble or like real grounds. I like that one, even though I do have to study it more. Gotta get into depth with like Hitler, with Stalin, with World War III. I mean World War II and one. Well, history-ize my brain, because I do know like a little bit assassinations and all that stuff. But the baby one, I gotta study the baby. I thought I had it, but now I just unlocked more evidence. I just unlocked more evidence for myself. So yeah, the ones, what was it? Yeah, the ones that didn't make it. They'll be like, oh, what about the ones that didn't make it? Why would God let them die?
Then if we were to rewind time, there
I
had
know who to
have
talk
been a
about.
point in which everything
I know exactly who to talk to about that too.
started. So the question is, how did everything begin? And the answer to this question is still a mystery in science, because we obviously can't go back and observe how life actually began.
That's what I'm saying. So this one is a good one, but you can get stuck. That's why I don't like this one, and I can't find a way out. I have searched this up because this is overplayed. This is like the first one. This is way too overplayed. So I have searched a little bit in this one, and I have got myself stuck. So I'm not using this debate. I'm not using this.
So the creation argument pretty much states that because things exist, things like the universe and its galaxies, stars and planets, and the earth with its land, seas and people, then something or someone had.
And oh yeah, by the way, I am Christian. I'm just stating those three because I still have those, like another three, and then I have another three, and then I have another three, and then I have another three. I have like 6 pairs of threes, 8 pairs of threes on my why. I believe on God. So I just use those threes at first, debate the people that I need to debate, win or lose. Then I do my other 3 later on. I do want to debate people though on those 3s.
For its existence. And while people may argue,
if anybody's watching this that knows, if anybody watching this that could go and tell non-believers to hit me up,
say,
be great.
Well, maybe the universe was
with those 3 evidence. Tell them with those 3 evidence. I'm not debating nothing else.
Just always
those
here.
3 evidence first.
I'd say that the universe expanding is proof that our universe isn't infinite, because it all had to start at a single point in history. Because from what we know and observe from the universe, That's the most logical conclusion we can come to. So if the universe and everything in it seems to have needed a cause or reason to exist, then God or some higher power seems to be the only explanation that makes.
Yeah, and then what Zerka used too. I think Zerka and Sneeko used. Who used this? I forgot. Damn. No, it wasn't them. It wasn't them. It was a scholar that was debating another. It was a professor, a science professor, debating another science, a non-believer science professor, and he said without matter there's no time or space, and then without space there's no time or matter. And then I'm gonna see if I was let me see if I could find it. Actually, it's a really quick find too. I think is this professor science pro no scientist. I think he was he a scientist. I don't know. Debate on God assistance, using matter and time and space. It was really short. Yeah, this guy.
If there were matter and space but no time, when would you put it? You cannot have time, space, or matter independently. They have to come into existence simultaneously. The Bible answers that in 10 words. In the beginning, there's time. God created the heaven, there's space, and the earth, there's matter. So you have time, space, matter created a trinity of trinities there.
Yeah, there's a longer version, but let me see if it's just there. No. Oh yeah, right here. Okay. Doctor Who? Dr. Ken Howard versus
everything. I'll show you on Monday.com. So I
Kevin
started the biggest.
Calvin.
God comes from. Please try to clarify how you can figure that a spiritual force
displays that you're thinking of the wrong God, because the God of the Bible is not affected by time, space, or matter. If he's affected by time, space, or matter, he's not God.
Facts.
Time, space, and matter is what we call a continuum. All of them have to come into existence at the same instant, because if there were matter but no space, where would you put it? If there were matter and space but no time, when would you put it? You cannot have time, space, or matter independently. They have to come into existence simultaneously. The Bible answers that in 10.
Don't know if that's real or not. I'm not a scientist or not, but he's a thought. I think that's the doctor, one of the doctors, and he sounds smart. So
words. In the beginning,
I should search this out, but
God created the heaven.
There's no one that said, he's wrong.
There's matter. So you have time, space, matter created a trinity of trinities there. Just, time is past, present, future. Space has length, width, height. Matter has solid, liquid, gas. You have a trinity of trinities created instantaneously. And the God who created them has to be outside of them. If he's limited by time, he's not God. The guy who created this computer is not in the computer. He's not running around in there changing the numbers on the screen, okay? The God who created this universe is outside of the universe. He's above it, beyond it, in it, through it. He's unaffected by it. So the concept that a spiritual force cannot have any effect on a material body, well then
I never really saw his response.
Like emotions and love and hatred and envy and the thoughts that you think, okay, is worth worshiping. That's for certain. So that's the God that I worship. Thank you.
I wonder who is. Let me see which one is he? This one. I feel like he's the first one. He looks like a coven. Oh no. Oh yeah, it is. He's an angel as even actually. I don't know how to say this. I ain't gonna lie. Let me see this guy. This guy is stupid. Just made you look stupid. He's so dumb. He's not even here no more. He said, "I quit." I like that one too.
Makes sense. And I know some people.
That's a good argument for creation. I feel like
people will say, you Christians look at the unknown and turn off your minds and credit the unknown to God. At least scientists are out there observing and trying to figure everything out. Back when I was in college, I sat in one of my friend's classes. and JP Moreland was the professor, and he taught his class something interesting. And he stated that the origin of the universe is outside the realm of science. And the reason why is because science is based on the scientific method, or in other words, it relies solely on us making observations of the world around us. So due to the fact that time, space, and matter all began at a single point in time, a point in time that no one can go back and observe, science then cannot answer the question of how the universe began. So Morelands, the professor, then asserted that the question of how the universe began should actually be answered in the realm of philosophy, not science. And I thought that was interesting. For me personally, if someone were to tell me, you're just turning off your mind and crediting the unknown to God, I'd respond, I'm not turning off my mind. I just think that a higher power that is greater than time, space, and matter can only be responsible for creating the universe that we observe today. Do you have a better explanation on why everything exists today? Because if you do, then I'd love to listen and I'm willing to learn.
Me too. That's why I want to touch non-believers, man. I want to see their brain tick.
Watching this and you're someone who does not believe in God, I'd challenge you and ask, how do you think we all came to exist? Because
okay, let me see. Because my thing is they always use the Bible. They like recently, what I noticed is like they don't want us using the Bible against them because they don't read the Bible. So I said, okay, fine. Let me do the same thing and be a believer. So let me see. Wait, what was this question? What do you?
Then I'd love to listen and I'm willing to learn.
Facts.
So if you're watching this and you're someone who does not believe in God, I'd challenge you and ask, how do you think
we came about? They could always say the rock. The rock, right? The rock. Nah, that's aura. The rock came down, exploded, and that gave off a material. That's why, man, I'm going off movies. Let's go off movies because let's just do a movie right here, right? That's my brain. That's how my brain works. This is not real life because I believe in God. Let's just create a movie. If I would do the world in a movie, the rock came down, hit, exploded, and the rock gave off a chemical, and inside the rock it had another like orb like thing. Let's just call it an orb like thing. And when the rock hit the earth, it exploded, and the chemical outside the rock hit what was I saying? Oh yeah, the chemical outside the rock came in contact with the orb like thing inside the rock, and that's how humans were formed, right? It would be now. And then the trees, what about the trees? No, the orb is the life. So there are some orbs that went into the ground, and then it just so happens that it rains just because it rains, and that orb like thing became a tree because it came in contact with like dirt and water. So apparently we're all trees in this movie. I don't know how, but yeah, that could be a theory.
We all came to exist?
That could be a theory right there. I ain't gonna lie.
Because I think there needs to be some explanation on why we all exist, and I think that God creating everything seems the most likely and logical. And if you're
It is logical.
a Christian and you're wondering how to use this argument in a conversation,
Oh my God.
you can simply ask people, where do you think we all came from? And how do you think the universe began? Because it did not just pop into existence, something or someone needed to have caused it. And if they argue and say, well, how do we know that? Things can just pop into existence, and that might be the case for the universe. To that, I'd probably say that we don't observe things popping in and out of existence freely in our day-to-day lives. So if that's the case, there needs to be a cause for the existence of our universe.
Correct.
And should people ask, well, who created God then? To help with that question, you can watch our video titled, Who Created God?
There is. That's a cool CTA, if you know what I mean. But nah. Himself. I mean, he is the creator of everything, so he just popped that in. Oh, okay.
Number 2,
okay.
the design argument. This
design.
argument is also known as the teleological argument. And in the same way
Teleological.
that I skipped explaining the premises for the creation argument, I'll also skip that here. Because the goal for this video isn't to prepare debaters, but to help Christians understand these arguments so that they can better be used in a conversation.
Facts.
So this argument pretty much states that complex and intelligent design must come from an intelligent mind or designer. So let's look at the complexity of people. And I cover this in our Is There Really a God video.
Ooh.
And in it, I talk about how within a single person, they have a cardiovascular
Dude, that's the baby argument.
system, an endocrine system, a digestive, respiratory, excretory, lymphatic, nervous, muscular, and skeletal
What did he just say?
system. And on top of that, according to the National Institute of General Medical Sciences, the DNA from one of our cells is 6 feet long. So
Wait, what if people are not 6 feet long? No. Oh no, wait, no. Still. I gotta, what the? Yo, this is to help me with the baby argument. I bet.
if we were to uncoil all of the DNA from all of our cells, it would amount to being 67 billion miles long.
Oh, no.
And to give you a better idea of that length, we could take 150,000 round trips to the moon with that much DNA.
Wait. This did help me, but this is also to better help me understand how a human being, the female species, could create another human being.
And that's just the DNA of one person. So the
Come on.
design argument would suggest that a person is too complex.
Yeah.
And evolution could not have been the reason why people exist, regardless of how many billions of years occur. For example, it would be nonsense to think that a laptop in a forest got there by evolution. Because even if all the necessary parts of a laptop were in an area, and that area was untouched, and nature just had its way for billions of years, a working laptop would not be the result. Yet many people who believe in evolution use this line of reasoning for people, and they'll suggest that the building blocks for people were in an area, and over time, an organism formed, and from that, it kept evolving until we got to people. And I do want to add that I do find a lot of credibility in evolution within a species. Like Darwin's finches, for example. Finches do evolve over time, but they don't become anything other than birds. And we do have wolves that mate with lesser violent canines. And evolution can create a bunch of different types of dogs. However, they stay dogs. It's evolution that turns species into other species.
Bro, I want to study on the baby argument, bro.
Like fishes turning
I want
into
to better,
birds and birds turning into dogs that I would disagree with. And the reason why is because in our fossil record, I don't recall.
I want to write that
seeing
down. Hold on. Let me write that down because this is so cool. The national, wait. This is cool. Where's my pen at? Where's the pen at? Hello? It's cool to know.
Excretory, lymphatic, nervous, muscular, and skeletal system.
Oh,
on
wait,
top of
all
that
that is good to know.
Is there really a vascular system?
Wait.
And in it, I talk about how within a single person, they have a cardiovascular
not even, we don't gonna even go that deep, to be honest. My argument is simply the brain, all the other organs, and the aesthetic thing.
Vascular system, an endocrine system, a digestive, respiratory, excretory, lymphatic, nervous,
Yo, bro.
muscular, and skeletal system. And on top of that, according to the National Institute of General
National, let me write this down because people that ask me where you got that information, I'm not gonna say another YouTuber. I want to say the actual national. Okay, not okay, but okay, there you go. National institution. Okay, general. Okay, a medical. Let me write it right just so I could remember how to say it. Medical science states that we have, okay,
medical sciences, the DNA from one of our cells
okay, states that we have one DNA that's 6 feet long. Okay, bet that's gonna help me because the baby argument.
is 6 feet long.
I'm gonna rate.
So if
You
we
know what
were
I
to
gotta do? Because I do want to debate. So I gotta rate in one of the notebooks. I think I have a notebook and a list, like actual list my topics off, and then like the response to it.
uncoil all of the DNA from
Okay, let's go back. Let's go forward.
by evolution, that for
Oh my
Opiate
God.
addiction doesn't mean you're a bad person. That's not who I am.
birds. The reason why is because in our fossil record, I don't recall seeing much of any transitional species that were in the middle of evolving. So going back to the argument of design, complex and intelligent design requires a complex designer. So when you look at the complexity of people and all that makes up a single person, this kind of complexity had to have come from some higher power. So if you're someone that doesn't believe in God and you think that evolution makes more sense and that people did evolve, I would challenge you to think of a time when life can come from non-life. Or in other words, if evolution did start everything and the world started with a bunch of non-living things that people ultimately evolved
We would have life on Mars.
from, can you think of another time when life was able to emerge from something that wasn't alive?
Because if we're evolving, we should have people just rise just from the ground. Not the dead, but like, you know?
Because if that's not the case, then where did life begin? You could say you just don't know, but I think that the most logical explanation is life coming from some originator of life.
See, I like the logical, because people just, I like this guy, because they're saying don't use the Bible against them. I bet. Oh no. Okay. It says it right here, then here too. Let me see this. Let me see these. It's creation. Since the creation of the world, God. Man, not man. I didn't mean to disrespect. I just meant like they don't like the Bible, so let's just use the logic that they claim to
And
have.
I would call this originator of life God. And if you're a Christian and you're wondering how you can use this argument in a conversation, I would encourage you to ask a lot of questions on what someone believes regarding the complexity of life. And I'd say something along the lines of, people are incredibly complex. Where do you think we came from and how do you think life started? In my personal podcast, Practical Christianity, I interviewed my friend who works as a chemist, and I asked him what his view on evolution was. And he told me that as a chemist, he works hard to make sure that the chemicals he creates all have the correct measurements. So if his chemicals and complex compounds that he makes all require intelligence, he thinks that since the world and people have so much more complexity than the chemicals he makes, it only makes sense that a mind of greater intelligence.
Bro, this is what I'm like. Wait, let me see, because I don't notice the percentages, but it's just crazy to me. What's the? I don't know how to spell percentages. So, okay, there you go. What's the percentages of? Bro, I'm a bad speller, bro, and a bad reader. That's why I'm not doing it like them. You heard? Like them. I'm not like them. Scientist. What is the percentage of scientists that believe in God? I feel like there's a lot of percentages. 51 belief in higher power ability. 51 believes in something form of higher power, God. It's 33 believes. 33% of. Okay, but that's 2025, or at least 24. Okay. There's no difference. Wait, so we have it. All right, I guess it's offensive nowadays, I guess, or I don't know why they're not doing it. They haven't done it. 25. Okay, sure, but it's not really updated. So, I mean, the smartest man alive today believes in it, which is what's his name? Kim Lin. Wait, today's IQ, today's IQ, no, today's IQ level highest. Oh my God. Nah, this is wrong. Who has today's highest IQ level? I think it was, isn't it him? Yeah, there you go. Young from South Korea. I think, is it this guy or was it someone else? The youngest. Oh yeah. He is a Christian. He literally says that God is real. Like literally says, as the world highest IQ holder, I believe it. The Bible is perfect, eternally, and the final words of God. Therefore, the Bible doesn't need to be updated. The world needs to be catch up. Yo, bro. His IQ level is this. I think Albert Einstein was higher. Who has the highest IQ ever recorded? Isn't it Albert? And then Albert. And then some people say that Albert Einstein is also Who has the highest? Isn't it Albert Einstein, bro? I feel like Albert Einstein was it, no? Or oh yeah. Oh, but this is from today though. Let me see. Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein. IQ. Oh my god. Who's yo, bro? In the world. Okay, in the world. 50. So we're doing up and down or down or up? The society, a group of people with IQ claims that the South Korean has a okay, according to society of which Kim is a member of, he serves intelligence specialist. So he's the highest of all? No, he's not. There's no way. Okay, yeah, we're going from high to low. Who's the fifth? Wolfgang. Bro, I wondered. Shakespeare. He completed. Wait, what? Wow, I didn't even know. We going up and down? Like, what are we doing? Okay, we're doing. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I ain't gonna lie. But just know the holder of this year's and last year's IQ, highest IQ, believes in God. So, hold on. I need to use the bathroom. So, let's do this debate. Ooh, that's a good debate.
Connectly.
Facts. That time.
Is
So
responsible
let's
for creating
continue
it.
to this.
And argument number 3, the moral argument. This argument pretty much states that because people have universal laws that they all abide by, it's evidence of God, because he had to give people these laws. To explain it more, murdering babies, purposefully polluting water reservoirs,
they're doing that now, so.
and other crimes like rape are wrong. And while that seems obvious that they're wrong, the question is, why do we think they're wrong? The moral argument suggests that these moral laws can't develop from a purely biological world, and that these morals need to come from a higher power or God. And
Yeah, because how do we know? Like, let's just say, how do we know this is wrong? Where we got that information from? You're a newborn, get it from your parents. But where did they get it? They got it from their parents. Where did they got it from their parents? But the first person who was here, which is Adam and Eve, they have to get it from their parent, which is God. So,
wrong. The question is, why do we think they're or God? And the reason why is because if there was no God and we were purely biological beings, then we'd be no different than animals.
Facts.
Because lions can kill gazelles and dogs can go have sex with other dogs without their consent, but lions don't murder gazelles and dogs don't rape other dogs. They're just acting like animals. So to really think about this argument, we need to consider why we as people think that things are wrong.
Yeah.
Because if we truly did believe that our world was purely biological, then we couldn't say that what Hitler did was wrong. And according to the Holocaust Encyclopedia, Nazi Germany did not just kill Jewish people. They also killed black people, gay men, people with disabilities, and their political opponents. So think about this. If morals were not given to us by God, then the rules we have as a society would be subjective. Meaning, what's wrong for me may not be wrong for other people.
Exactly.
And we could then respectfully disagree. But this moral argument suggests that there are things that we can't respectfully disagree with. Like, we can't respectfully disagree with Hitler. What he did was morally wrong. But if we lived in a purely biological world,
What he did
I'd
was right.
argue that we couldn't say that he was wrong.
Yeah.
Because he was just doing what was right for him. And
Exactly.
people could argue that objective moral values could emerge from a society, but if objective moral values did begin within a society, how would we know which moral values to defend? Because different moral values could technically arise that contradict other ones. So how do we know rape is wrong? And if it is wrong, then how do we know it should stay wrong? I don't think the idea of objective moral values developing within a society answers this question. So all that to say, the moral argument states that because we have moral values that all our societies hold, values such as not murdering and raping people,
we have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code.
It's indicative of some higher being giving us those values.
Facts.
So if you don't believe in God, I would challenge you to
Let's
think
see.
of where your conscience came from. Like, you have a sense of right and wrong. So where did that come from? And why is it
Let us say their parents.
that humans
It's
are
society.
different from animals, and why can't we just kill and have sex with whoever we want to? Because I think that the best explanation for why we have this innate sense of right and wrong is because God put inside all of us a conscience that sees and holds universal and moral laws.
Facts.
And if you're a Christian and you want to use this argument in a conversation, I would encourage you to ask questions like, where do you think we got our sense of right and wrong? And do you think what Hitler did was wrong? And why do you think that? And do you think it's possible that we got our sense of right and wrong from
Hold on. I just noticed this. Why is it every time Hitler? Like, was Hitler okay? Like, was he? Did what he do was really okay? Like, let's be honest here. We see the world. People say safe. They literally say free Palestine, but Hitler was wrong. Making me sense. How is it free Palestine, but Hitler was wrong? Hitler was literally stopping Israel or the Jews from invading his space.
God? And if not, why do you think that? And how did you come to that conclusion? Okay? So if you're wondering if God does exist, I would encourage you to consider these three arguments: the creation argument, the design argument, and the moral argument. Now,
I don't have a debate
that
because
these arguments
I believe
do
in
not
God. So
argue the existence of the Christian God. I'll actually cover those arguments in another video. But if anything, these arguments provide a
yeah, this is just he's just saying in general.
good start when it comes to
I do want to
with
see this,
people
the
about
Christian God
possibility
though.
of God's
Let me
existence.
see.
Most of the time when I talk to people about God, I found that most people do believe in some type of God. And if that's the case, I'll jump into specific arguments that support.
No. Well, it was the end of the video anyways.
The question of whether or not God exists is a common question that many people. The time, if you're humble and kind, people will listen to you, and when
Wait.
it comes to conversing with people about the possibility of God's existence. Most of the time when I talk to people about God, I found that most people do believe in some type of God. And if that's the case, I'll jump into specific arguments that support Christianity. But if they don't believe in a God, then I'll cover one or all three of these arguments. And honestly, these arguments should not be used to prove people wrong, but to start a discussion on what they believe.
Facts.
And most of the time, if you're humble and kind, people will listen to you and respectfully disagree. So all that to say, if you do end up using these arguments, I would encourage you to use them in
This is
humility
fire.
and in love. And if you
Facts.
don't believe in God, please know that my heart in writing this video is for you to see that there is some thought on why Christians can believe in a higher power.
Facts.
And whether you believe in him or not,
You should. You should.
I want you to know that Jesus loves you.
That's fire. W video, man. Keep doing what you're doing. He's literally showing y'all. Literally showing y'all.